Hey everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today it is time for our first world boss. We are taking on Steel Rain, the fate in the Black Shroud, where you fight against Odin. You'll notice Odin has a name. That is the name of the last player to kill him on this server, because as we learned when we fought the trial, the sword is the real primal, and the last person to kill Odin becomes possessed by his sword and becomes the new Odin. Fun! Alright, everyone is gathering together. We are getting ready for the fight. Atop his mighty steed clad in armor darker than the void, the elder primal Odin has returned to Eorzea to exact his brutal judgment upon the realm. Like all world boss fates, this will spawn somewhere from 24 to 72 hours after the previous time it spawned. Unique to the Odin fate, well, kind of unique, there is a special weather for when his fate is up. When his fate is up at a random location in the Shroud, any of the 4 maps for the Shroud, all maps in the Shroud will have the tension weather. So the weather will change to let you know somewhere in the Black Shroud, Odin's fate is up. There's a set number of locations where the fate can spawn, but it will always be a random location among those available locations where it's allowed to spawn. It is a very hard fate. You get synced to level 70 for it, and you are expected to go in with a full alliance worth of people. Around 24 people is kind of the expectation for this fate. His main attacks are very similar to what we see in the trial. Going off the console games wiki, we have Gungnir. Circular AoE indicators appear on the ground. Gungnir, the spear, appears in the circle, and all players inside it are bound and dealt damage over time. Odin is invulnerable to damage while performing the ability. I believe we need to break Gungnir in order to free people. Einherjar is a massive AoE, deals massive AoE damage to all players in the large circle around Odin. Hall of Lead. When that lands, everyone who is in the circle will get slowed, which will make them very vulnerable to future attacks, which require them to dodge. Valknut is an AoE to all players in a small circle around Odin. It's kind of the tank buster. Should probably try and get out of that, especially if you got slowed. You better hope healers are on top of using Asuna. Healers, stay on top of using Asuna on people to let them get out. Hall of Stone will give you a physical vulnerability up debuff and petrification if you get hit by it. So try not to get hit by it. Most of Odin's abilities in this fate are basically AoEs of varying sizes. Get out of the AoE if you can. Some AoEs, like the one that just hit us, is too big to escape, so don't worry about it. It's just a heal/defense check, and making sure you didn't get hit by other abilities. Main thing is, yeah, it's just a cycle of moving in and out, trying to get out of the AoEs before they hit you, and get back in to fight him once the AoEs are done. Near the end of the battle, Zantetsuken gets used, and that is his Enrage. Odin uses the ability towards the end when around 1 to 5% of his HP left. Zantetsuken has a 30-second cast time. At the end of casting, all players participating in the fate will be killed instantly. Yeah, Zantetsuken's the Enrage, so once that starts getting cast, you gotta move and kill him fast. Not too much to say beyond that. There's a few more abilities that aren't listed on the console games wiki. But yeah, it's a very kind of obvious pattern what's happening here, just varying sizes of AoEs with varying effects. Try not to get hit by the AoEs, and if you do, you're probably going to get debuffs, which can sometimes get Asuna'd. There are some abilities that he uses on whoever is tanking him that will give them like physical vulnerability up. And healers definitely want to stay on top of using Asuna on the main tank in order to keep that physical vulnerability up off of them. Unfortunately, he happened to spawn in a place where we have those freaking massive stropers coming at us every now and then, so that's annoying. Yeah, as long as you have enough people, it's not the hardest fate in the world. It is definitely hard, but it requires you to have a good alliance worth of people. And also probably a good number of them have to be level 70, and are going to be level 70 or higher. Okay. He's down to his last 19%? He's getting there. Not really too much else to say about this fate, so I'll start going into, I guess, talking about the rewards. For beating this fate, you will get various rewards depending on how much contribution you had. The wiki does not have listed rewards for bronze rank, which is the lowest. If you get a silver rank, you get 230 Grand Company seals, 80 gil, and 1 Odin's mantle. What is the Odin's mantle? We'll get into that. And if you get the gold rank, you get 287 Grand Company seals, 100 gil, and 5 Odin's mantles. Odin's mantles is the main reward for beating the fates. And there's Antetsuken. Thankfully, he's gonna die pretty quickly. It's not gonna be too big of a threat. Alright, we win! We get the achievement uncut for beating him, we get 5 Odin's mantles for gold participation. Now what can we use those Odin's mantles for? Well, we're going to, in just a moment, teleport back to Mordona, and that's where we'll be able to use them. Generally, World Boss Fates will drop some sort of special unique currency unique to that World Boss Fate. And by going to the appropriate trader, you can trade them in for special fate-specific rewards. Early on, it's going to be a lot of glamour stuff. Later expansions, they start shifting more towards more extravagant glamours, as well as minions and even mounts at times. I believe Elena here has the trade for Odin's mantles. We have options for item level 50 special gear. Or we can get what I'm going for, the Sleipnir Barding, which is special barding for your Chocobo. Let's go ahead and get that equipped on, well, at least unlocked for our Chocobo. I'm not too worried about the glamour gear. I may go back for it eventually, but it's not a big priority for me. Anyways, that's about it for Odin. I will see everyone next time as we head into Blue Mage.